God damn, this trade is taking forever. I might just sell off here, honestly. It's taking too long. Yeah, probably gonna sell here. I don't really like this volume, honestly. Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Today is September 15th, Monday. It's a new week, and I did take one trade this week. And it's nice to start the week with a green day. And I am up 65.50. It wasn't the best, but it's still a W. And I almost took out all my losses from last week. Sometimes the risk to reward could be a bit different because sometimes I risk less in my trades. Like this trade, I risked $35. This trade, I risked $41. And this trade, I risked $61. So if I lost that trade, I would have been down more. Two of my losses were $70 last week, and one trade this week, I already got $65. So I almost made everything back. But sometimes maybe I risk $60 for each trade and I'm down 120, and then later if I win, I only win like 40 bucks. I can't really pick and choose what I want. It's honestly because whatever I see in the chart, and that's when I take the trade, and whatever the risk reward is, then that's what I take. I'll show you guys a live trade, but first I want to break down what I saw on the charts. I am gonna go to the bigger time frames to show you guys the NASDAQ, and as you can see that we're just at all-time highs. Markets are just breaking above, and this is right now the all-time highs right here. And then if I go closer to the time frames, if I zoom in, go to the 30-minute time frame, and what I charted out was the pre-market high right here. This was the pre-market high, and then this was the previous day's high right there. So what I look for is a break and retest. I'm waiting for the markets to break above this level and then get a retest and then take it for a long. There's no point in shorting right now because we are in a bullish structure, and I only would short it if it breaks down key levels, if it breaks down the previous day's lows, things like that, but I did not see that. So I'm interested in longs. And then when I go to the 2-minute time frame, what I see early in the morning, you see how this is the pre-market high right there, and then once they broke above, had strong volume, and then I like the volume a lot. I just gave it a risk reward because it could pull back all the way down to retest this level, and although it didn't really retest the level properly, I just really like the charts, and I drew my 3-to-1 right here. As it broke above these wicks, that's when I got in my plate at this candle right here. Then I put my risk just below the level right here, and that was about 30 points, I believe, and that was risking about 60 bucks. I was targeting a 3-to-1. I actually didn't even get a 2-to-1 because my 2-to-1 would have been right about here, and the whole day, it honestly did not get up there the whole day. I just sold it right here because it was just taking too long. It was like over an hour on the trade, and I just didn't want to sit here all day. And although it can grind up slowly like I did right here, I could have gotten it. Usually I target 3-to-1s, but honestly I feel like I might have to change it a bit depending on the trade, and maybe that makes more sense because sometimes trades like these, they take really long, especially the upside. They're like really grindy, and it can honestly just pull back and just like I can just lose everything, right? And I do want to protect myself. So even though I'm supposed to get a 2-to-1 and then move my stop to break even, which I didn't yet, and even though I did move it before to break even, it's just that I should maybe look at the charts and see how, if it makes sense for me to move it to break even. We are at all-time highs right now, so I don't know where this thing can go up to. It can go all the way up here. It can just like go up and just fall down randomly, so that's why it's hard to like just target a random risk reward. If I'm able to scale off stuff, then I'm able to be more comfortable like holding the trade. My risk reward was a 3-to-1, so it would have been like up here, so it still needs more time, and this could take all day. It can go up here and then later fall back all the way down here, and I just never know. I just can't have my stop loss to all the way to like my actual stop loss. That's why I moved it to break even. I can just trail my stop loss maybe and put it to one of these lows, and maybe that's better. If I do look over to the ES, it's the same thing what happened. This is basically the previous day's highs, which that was all-time highs, and then we have the pre-market high right here that I drew out, and then we did break above. But if I go to the 2-minute time frame, this is what I see. If I did trade the ES, I would have lost the trade because I would have gotten this candle, I believe, and then my stop loss would have been right below this pre-market high. But then I got wicked out right there. I didn't like it as much, even though I was risking less. Like this was only like 3.5 points. I would have risked less in the trade. This candle right here, or this action, it's not as great as the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ volume just seemed more stronger. It just seemed more, had more strength. So that's why I took the NASDAQ. Showing you guys a live trade now. This is the NASDAQ on the left, right side of the ES. And I just drew out both of these because I want to see if I want to take the NASDAQ or I want to take the ES. But I had a proper risk on the NASDAQ, which is 30 points. So I was comfortable of taking that. And then my initial target was a 3-to-1. But that's targeting about a 90-point move to the upside, which is pretty far. Because I either like targeting a 3-to-1 or I like targeting a 75-point on the NASDAQ. So I'm just like waiting through the trade. And then if I fast forward, it's like slowly going up, grinding. And it still looks like it's pulling back. At this point, I was kind of getting scared, honestly. I was about to exit the trade, but then I keep having that issue where I just like exit the trade because I'm getting scared of losing. But honestly, that's the point of trading. I have to risk the money to make the money. And it's because the ES looks weak and it's like, it looks like it could break down, and that's why I'm getting a bit scared. But I know that the Nasdaq is still strong. It's still above my level, so I just can't exit the trade. Right here, the ES looks really weak. That's why I'm like getting scared. Like, do I exit the trade? I'm already losing the trade, so why like exit the trade? I just gotta trust the Nasdaq. If the ES did fail, the Nasdaq might just tap this low. The ES also has the previous day's highs right here, so I'm not too scared. I still have a chance to still win the trade. And the ES just did a nice wick above pre-market high. I just kept holding the trade. The trade was working nicely, and I just kept waiting. I was expecting to get my trade like pretty quickly, but I just did not get anything, and I just kept waiting. Close to my 2-to-1 target, that's when I move my stop loss to break even. But at this point, it just keeps going down and up, and if I don't move my stop to break even here, it really hurts for me to be this up and just like lose a winning trade. That's the only problem with it. Usually if I'm targeting a 2-to-1, people move their stop loss to break even once they hit a 1-to-1. But since I do a 3-to-1 and I had to be up 2-to-1 to move my stop to break even, that really depends on the trade, honestly. Like, it's taking time to build. That's why I rather not want to wait for my 2-to-1. So I just put my stop to break even right there. And if it loses, then I'll be okay. I'm able to hold the trade knowing that I'm not going to lose this trade because I will be break even. I could also lock in my profits here because, oh, it's a nice trade. I'm up $100, but that's also not my target, so I just can't do it. There was this crazy volume over here, so I don't even know if I want to exit the trade there. It looked like it was still building when I saw that, so I was like, okay, I'm probably going to get my trade. But it's still like grinding and like slow, not liking the trade, so I just exited the trade over here around $65 once I started seeing it fail a bit. I honestly felt that this could have been the top and like the supply, this could be a lower high. I just never know because we are at all-time highs right now. We're just reaching new levels that we just never know when the downfall will happen. Other trades, I just have a target because I know where my supply is, I know where my demand is, and I just have a target and I know how far I can go. But this, I just don't know where it can go. I mean, at least my trade is not like a loser if I just lose a trade. I'm still working on like holding my trades longer. These types of days, like the upside grind is really slow. We're trading differently at this point in time because we're just reaching all-time highs every single day, every single week. It's kind of hard to trade it a bit. Like, you really gotta like be protective. You gotta lock in your profits because you just never know when the top will be. And there's always pullbacks. It can just fall right away and you just can lose. That's why I want to be protective, and I locked in my profits. I felt happy with the profit that I had, and I just walk away with it. If I go to the charts now, I would have gotten my 2-to-1 target, but my 3-to-1 is still up here. It probably will go up there, honestly, and maybe that's why I should have held the trade. I could probably do a better job of like trailing my stop loss. So let's say I did sell out around here, which was it was just about a 1-to-1, like slightly above 1-to-1. So I could have maybe put my stop loss there or so, or I don't know where. Like, maybe I just move it to here, and it's still better than break even. And then if it goes higher, I can move it to here, then here, and then I can just trail my stop loss and get a 3-to-1. It's still a work in progress of like moving my stop loss and all that type of stuff. That is my day. I did win $65. This trade took about, I believe, 1 hour because I did get in around 9:36 and I did exit around 10:34. So it was about an hour trade, and yeah, that's about it. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.